Welcome to Live DAF, your online DAF Yomi Shir.
Shalom and welcome back to today's DAF Hayemi KIDDUSHIN DAF Ayin Dalet. We got up to the ninth line off the top of the Amid. Amar Rav Nachman, Shloisha ne'emanin ala b'char. The following three individuals are trusted when they testify about a baby and say he was a firstborn child. Eluain, who are these three individuals who have ne'emanus? Chaya, the midwife, who testifies that this was the child born first and this was born second. Chaya. Aviv Imai, his father and mother. Explains the Gemara, under what conditions? Chaya is only believed la'alter. Immediately after birth, when she's totally focused and on the scene, as opposed to if she left the scene, she left the room, and returned, she's no longer ne'eman. She no longer has that clarity and that sharpness to be able to positively identify which baby was born when, as we learned yesterday. What about the mother, Imay, the mother of a newborn, Kol Shiva? She's going to be believed only for the first 7 days. And Rashi explains, because at that point, father is not yet a player. He's not yet involved in preparing for the bris. So the baby's totally in his mother's hands only, and therefore we give the mother ne'emas. Aviv, when is father taking over this job? Lo'ilam. So once day 8 arrives, father gets involved with the bris. So starting then, going forward, only father is ne'eman that this baby is a b'char. Kedasanya, the pasuk says, Yakir. Ki asa b'char ben hasno yakir. Yakirenu la'achirim. That's a drasha. Yakir means the father can identify his child and say, this is my b'char. The Torah gives him that ne'emonus. Mikan Amar Rabbi Yehuda, ne'eman adam loymar. Zebni b'char. This pasuk teaches us that a father has ne'emonus to label his son as the b'char. Ukashem she'ne'eman loymar. Zebni b'char. And Rabbi Yehuda learns further. Just as he's ne'eman in terms of b'char, kach ne'eman loymar. Zeben grusha v'zeben chalutza. Likewise, he can label his children with all types of labels. This child is pasal, this child is kosher. So suppose he was a kohen who married a divorcee or a chalutza, he can point to his child and say, well, this child was affected, he's pasal. They disagree. B'char, yeah, but to render his child pasal, he doesn't have the kayach to do so. Back to the Mishnah, where Rabbi Shaul tells us that a shetuki is to be called biduki. Shetuki is a child born in a situation where he identifies his mother, but not his father. He calls out to this fellow, father, mother, quiet enough. Shh. He's not really your father. So basically, we don't know where he comes from. We don't know who his father is. So maybe this child is a mamzer. We have no idea. Abba Shaul used to call a shtuki with the name Beduki. Why? My Beduki. What does that mean? Beduki means we examine, we check, we investigate. So does Abba Shaul mean to say that we're meant to go to his mother and ask her, who is this child's father? And she responds by saying, well, I was involved with a fellow who's kosher, not a mamzer or a guy, not a relative, in which case this child here is okay. So she's going to be trusted. Is that what Abba Shaul means to say? This shtuki is really beduki, meaning it's a pending status, pending further examination. Come on, so whose shita are we following? Rabbi Gamliel, who says likewise, we're going to see in a minute, he says that we're allowed to take the mother's word for it. She says kosher, we trust her. So the question is, why the repetition? We have already discussed Rabbi Gamliel's opinion elsewhere. So, the Mishnah over here should just say that Abba Shaul agrees with Rabbi Gamliel. Over there in that Mishnah in Ksubos, where Rabbi Gamliel discusses his shita, it should just say, in Rabbi HaKadosh, who was Mesader the Mishnayos, should just add, Abba Shaul agrees with Rabbi Gamliel. Why mention it once in Ksubos and once again in Maseches KIDDUSHIN under a different name? Tanina, Chadazimna, we learned it elsewhere. It's not, we have a Mishnah in Maseches Ksubos, Hoysam Beres. So we have an Isha who's visibly expecting. But when we ask her a question, could you please tell us where this child comes from? What's his status? Who's his father? Amr Lahem, we're speaking about an unmarried woman, right? Amr Lahem, she responds, well, Meish Pleini V'Koyenu. It was from this person, he's Kohen, he's a kosher, he's okay. V'Kosher, V'Koyenu. Rabbi Gamliel, Rabbi Lezer, Eimer Nehemanis. So according to Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Lezer, we trust her. And that establishes the kashrus of the child. Rabbi Shua, no, we don't live from her mouth. Basically, she has no nehemanos, and the Gemara there discusses the whys and the whats. Ve'amar Rabbi Damashmol, halacha Rabbi Gamliel. Okay, so bottom line is, it's been discussed elsewhere. Why the repetition? Answer is, we're dealing with two aspects here. Chada lahachsher ba, v'chada lahachsher bebita. The shita of Rabbi Gamliel over there is pertaining to her status, the mother's status. We trust her, and that she was involved with a proper person, and therefore, she doesn't become nischalel, she doesn't get disqualified from marrying a kohen or eating truma, right? So that's one aspect of the halacha. That's over there. V'chad l'achshav b'bita. The focus of our Mishnah is on the child, the offspring, on the son, on the daughter. Abba Shaul in our Mishnah adds another layer to this halacha. We trust her. We take her word, even pertaining to the status of her child, who was born really without a cheskas kashrus. There was no established track record as to his status. We trust the mother, child is kasher. That explains the repetition. One focuses on the mother, one on the child. That's all good and well, according to the Shita. That even Rabbi Gamliel, who accepts her testimony regarding herself, does not apply that to the child. So that explains the added value of our Mishnah. It's another layer. It extends even to the child. We trust the mother even regarding the child. So that explains the repetition. If you take the other approach, Rabbi Gamliel, who applied kashrus to the mother based on her word, extended it to the child as well. So then back to the question. Abba Shaul, who teaches us that we trust the mother regarding the child, in our Mishnah and KIDDUSHIN, what's the point? This has been discussed in Ksubos. Answer: the Abba Shaul adifa me'Rabbi Gamliel. Abba Shaul's halacha is more enhanced than Rabbi Gamliel. Why? The imi asam, if only from that halacha of Rabbi Gamliel, Havamina would say hasam the Rav Ksher and Etzla. Perhaps that only applies to an unmarried woman at Pinuya who most likely got involved with somebody who's okay. So there, we believe her that it was as such. But let's say you have a situation where most likely the options are bad, are psulan. Let's say she's an isha who's an arusa, an engaged woman, who's technically an isha ish. Right, between engagement and marriage in those days, she had a din of ish. So basically, it could have either been an interaction with her urus, which is not possible, or with another person, in which case the child is a mamzer. And Raiv is no good, right? Because most people out there are asa to her. She's an arusa. So, for example, if you have such a situation where most options indicate puzzle, perhaps there you can't believe her when she claims that it was okay. That's what I would think. That's why Abba Shaul comes and says, well, Shtuki, we call him a Beduki. Just ask the mother, we trust her. Amar Rav, Aloch Abba Shaul. That's what we do. Continues the Mishnah. Kol Asurim Lovei B'Kol. We have several classes of individuals, several groups of people who cannot marry into the community. A mamzer, a nasin, a shtuki, a sufi, right? So all these individuals, mutarim, lovei zeh b'zeh, they can marry each other. And the chiddush is that even if you have a mamzer, vadai, an established mamzer, then you have a shtuki who is, in a state of uncertainty, the suffix mamzer. They're allowed to marry each other. I learned yesterday in Daf Gimel that if it's kahol vadai, then a mamzer cannot marry, but a kahol suffix he could. A mamzer vadai cannot marry in, but a suffix mamzer could. Okay, so that's Tanakama. Kol asurim, love is it b'kol, mutarim, love is it b'zeh. Rabbi Yehuda, he says no, oiser, you can't. The Gemara will explain why. It depends. Vadon b'vadon mutar. You have a mamzer, who's certainly a mamzer. Then you have a nasan from that nation, who's also to marry into the community. So vadei b'vadai, they can marry each other. But if there's a suffix in one of them, he can't marry a vadei mamzer, because maybe he's not a mamzer. Vadon b'sveikan. Or you have usveikan, who wants to marry a vadei mamzer, b'vadoin. Or you have two sveikas, two people with questionable lineage. Usveikan b'sveikan, maybe he's a mamzer, but he's not. Maybe he's a mamzer, he's not. So then, they may not marry each other. They can't take a chance, just in case one is really a mamzer and one isn't, right? Asr. Who are these people of questionable yichus? Shtuki asufi v'kusi. Okay. Now, we have a Tanakama who says all the asurim lovei b'kol can marry each other. What's going on? What's he talking about? Michael asurim lovei b'kol. Ilemo. Shall we assume it means the mamzeri, unesini, shtuki v'asufi? So these four groups of people, and we allow them to marry each other. Why mention it again after we really learned it back in the first Mishnah that these groups of people are open to marrying each other? Hatana le'reisha, right? Mamzeri, unesini, shtuki v'asufi. Mutarim, love is it. That was the first Mishnah in Asari Yechsin. Okay, so why the repetition? Vasu, another kasha. Rabbi Yehuda says you can't. Rabbi Yehuda Yisrael, what's he going on? Is he speaking about, let's say, a mamzer and not allowing him to marry a suffix mamzer? Is that Rabbi Yehuda's, point of dispute with Tanakama? It's unlikely. You know why? Hamiltani is safer because you move on to the next sheet on the Mishnah. Rabbi Lezer, he's the one who makes that limitation. Vadon, that's okay, mutter. Vadon b'sveikan, b'sveikan asr. He's the one that makes that distinction. He says, when you're a suffix mamzer, you got to be careful. Don't marry a vadei mamzer, because maybe you're clean and he's not. So Rabbi Lezer is the one who introduces this point. Mechalad Rabbi Yehuda Svirle. Clearly, Rabbi Yehuda does not hold to that point. So what's Rabbi Yehuda arguing about? Perhaps let's take a new approach, a totally new, avenue here. Yesterday we discussed the question of whether a ger can marry a mamzer. A mamzer may not enter kahal Hashem. What about gerim? Rabbi Yissi says it's okay. Rabbi Yehuda disagrees. So maybe that's the point of the Mishnah. When Rabbi Yehuda says no good, he means a very specific case. A ger b'mamzeres. He doesn't allow a ger to marry a mamzeres because a ger has a din of a call, like we learned yesterday. Perhaps that's his only, single point of contention. Asks the Gemara, Mida ger b'mamzeres katan. Whoever discussed ger b'mamzeres in this Mishnah, which would prompt Rabbi Yehuda's response. Kol hasurin lavei b'kol katani. And in fact, the Mishnah begins with a totally different, opening statement. All those that are also to marry into the community. A ger? Is he included in that description? Of course not. So whoever mentioned ger. Amar Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, let's redo the whole perspective here. Rabbi Yehuda, in fact, is referencing the ger marrying the mamzeres, and he was responding to the Tanakama who discussed this very case. Because when Tanakama says kol asurim, kol asurim lovei b'kol, all those that are prohibited from entering the kohol. You know which kohol? Specifically the kohol of Kohanim. That's what he meant. Those that may not marry Kohanim. That's the point of the Mishnah. That, for instance, a ger cannot marry a kohen, but they can marry each other. They can marry a mamzer, right? And Rabbi Yehuda disagrees on that point. No. A ger is treated like a regular Yisrael with regard to this halacha. Ma'ininu, for instance, what are we speaking about? You have a very young giyaris. She converted when she was under 3 years old. In which case, even if she was involved with a man, it doesn't have any effect on her. She's not considered eligible for a masa of bia, right? And still, Tanakama says she may not marry a kohen. Rashi says because even if there's no chashash of znus, pasuk says ki'im b'sulis mizera beis Yisrael, kohen must marry a zera beis Yisrael as opposed to a giyaris, even if she came in to the fold very young. Udulek Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. This is unlike Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai's shita, who says that she came into the fore at that very young age is no concern. So in any case, Tanakama disagrees with Rabbi Shimon. Even a young giyaris is held back from marrying a kohen. Okay, and the Mishnah continues. For instance, that type of situation, mutaran lavez ebezeh. So a giyaris can go ahead and marry a mamzer or shtuki vasufi. So basically, all those that are preventing from marrying kohanim. For instance, a very young giyaris, they have no problem in marrying each other. For instance, a ger with a mamzer, and on that Rabbi Yehuda responds and says, no, I disagree on that point. A ger is like a regular kohol, may not marry a mamzer. Asks the Gemara, what prompted you to say that Tanakama included even a very young giyaris, under 3, in disagreement with that other shita? No, maybe it was specific to an older giyaris, above 3 years old. Afil Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, which will fit even into the shita of Rabbi Shimon, that only an older giyaris is problematic for a kohen. Im came because if so, mitzida tavra. The refutation is right on your side. Basically, it's not going to work with the rest of the Mishnah. Why? Because he's saying a giyaris who's already older, who may not marry a kohen, right? So so this type of isha can marry a mamzer. So then you'll say, well, that's only because she's older. But if she came into Klal Yisrael at a very young age, in which case she's not limited from marrying a kohen, right? According to Shimon Yochai, she's not considered like a giyaris. So in that case, she may not marry the other groups of people who are limited from marrying kohanim. It's sort of a formula, right? All those that are also to marry a kohen can marry each other. So if you're saying that it's specific to a giyaris who's above 3, so apparently, let's infer from here, but if she's below 3, which gives her the green light for to marry a kohen, so in that case, it's a flip side, right? So we have the isser to marry the other groups of people that can't marry kohanim, like a mamzer, right? That's basically what's going to happen. We have two sides of the formula, right? So on the one hand, we're saying those who are also to marry a kohen can marry each other, and those that are mutter to marry a kohen, like a young giyaris, cannot marry each other. The other groups of psulim, like a mamzer. Well, that's not true. Fact is, if you have a young giyaris, little Shimon ben Yochai, according to Shimon, the muteris love b'kal kuna, she can marry a kohen, no restriction there, and she can still marry a mamzer. Umutaris love zebazeh. Because we're going with the Tanakama, that a ger is not called kol and can marry a mamzer. So basically, we couldn't work with this above 3-year-old, threshold. Otherwise, the rule would not work out, and that prompts us to learn the Tanakama a bit differently. All those that are also to marry a kohen, including a very young giyaris, are not prevented from marrying each other. For instance, a ger with a mamzer. Comes Rabbi Yehuda to that and says, 1 second, a ger is aser b'mamzer, because a ger is called kahal. Okay, so that's pretty much the framework of the Mishnah. Uklolahu asks the Gemara, is this a set rule? That all those individuals who may not marry a kohen, mutaran love, but they can marry each other? Really? Hari almana ugrusha, v'chalala v'zayna. We have many examples of nashim who are unfit for marrying a kohen, almana, regarding a kohen gadol, right? Grusha, even for a kohen hedit, chalala, zayna. Tasurim love b'kal kuna. They're restricted with respect to marrying a kohen. V'asurim love v'zeh, but they cannot mix and match with the other psulim like the mamzerim, right? V'su, another question. Let's imply from here, ha mutter, but if a person can marry a kohen, then what happens? Then it flips. Then asur, you can't marry the other psulim. That doesn't either work. Very ger. For example, a ger. Shemuta b'kehenes. He can marry into kahuna. He can marry a female kohen, like we learned yesterday. Umuta b'mamzeres. And on the other hand, he can turn around and marry mamzeres as well, according to Tanakama. So basically, the whole formula doesn't work. Ella amar of nasim bar oisha. Let's give it another shot. Hachikama, the Mishnah means like this. We have a rule. Kol shekoyin asur lisa as bitay. Mishnah says kol. Ha'asurim lavi v'kol means like this. We're speaking about kahalat kahanan. In a situation where a kohen may not marry this fellow's daughter, umayniu, for example, ger shenosa geyeris. You have a ger married a geyeris. Ukar blessed ben Yaakov, who holds that their child is unfit for marrying a kohen. Mutarin lavoi zebazeh. So they can marry the other psulim like the mamzer. Asks the Gemara, uklalahu. So what are we accomplishing here? Instead of making a general sort of a blanket rule, all the asurim b'kahuna can marry each other, which is a problematic statement, because, for instance, a grusha can't marry a kohen, but she can't marry the other psulim like the mamzerim. So instead of going with that route, we learned the Mishnah a bit differently. All those whose daughter is pasal l'kahuna, for instance, a ger with a ger is his daughter, so she has no restrictions for marrying a mamzer. Uklal, who is that a set rule? The kol shekoyin asur lisa as bitay. Wherever a kohen cannot marry a fellow's daughter, mutaram levazeh bezeh. So then they can marry each other, they can marry mamzerim? It doesn't either work. Why? Hari chalol. Shnasa bas Yisrael. You have a chalol born from a problematic kohen matchup, like a kohen married a grusha, right? So his child is disqualified from kahuna, chalol. Shnasa bas Yisrael. He married a regular Jewish woman, which is okay for him. So once again, his kid is disqualified from marrying a kohen. The kohen also says bitay, because the daughter of a chalol is pasal for kahuna. Vasurin nami loveze bezeh. And in this case, the chalal cannot marry the other groups of psulim like mamzer, so your formula doesn't work. Like Kashas, the answer is like this. You're making a mistake. This chalal, the married Bas Yisrael's daughter, is not going to be asur for kahuna like Kasha. So it's not going to be. It's a non-starter. This question. The premise was faulty. Like Kasha, Rabbi Yehuda and Yehuda. We're going like that shita. Chalal, who marries a Bas Yisrael, the Zerah becomes like Tar, the Bnei Yisrael mikvah, right? We said it's a mikvah chalalim, so the child is perfectly fine, can marry a kohen, so the premise was faulty. Very chalal, shnasa chalala. Another example, a chalal married a female chalala. The kohen asur, Lisa is bitay. So, in this case, since he's a chalal on both sides, father and mother, so this daughter is totally pasal from a kohen, v'asur nami lavai zebazeh, and the chalalim Right? The Chalola may not marry other, psule kohol, individuals who can't marry into the community, for instance, a mamzer. And the Chalola may not marry a mamzer. Right? So that's one kasha. V'su, another kasha, ha mutter. But let's imply from your rule that suppose you have a fellow who a kohen can marry his daughter, ha mutter. So then we say asr, so this fellow cannot marry a mamzer, right? Because it goes both ways. If the fellow is asr to kohen, then he can marry a mamzer. And if he's mutter to the kohen, then he can't marry a mamzer. That doesn't either work. Imagine a ger married a regular Jewish woman. The kohen mutter lisabitay. In this case, the kohen can marry his daughter, no problem. Mutar and loves that. Still, the ger, the father, can marry a mamzer, like we said all along. A ger can marry a mamzer. So basically, this whole shot in the Mishnah doesn't really work out. Ella, let's give it another try. Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Rav. The Mishnah's sole focus now is on a totally different topic. What generates a mamzer? That's the machlekes Tanna Kama Rabbi Yehuda. Hacha mamzer ma'achoisei. What is the status of a child born from one sister? Or mamzer b'ishes ish. Or an ishes ish who committed znus. Ike b'nai, that's the point of machlekes. Because a child born from a match of a brother and sister, which is an isra of kares, is perhaps a mamzer. Likewise, ishes ish who committed znus, that is a situation of misas bezdin, penalty by way of bezdin. So the child born from these matchups, are they mamzer or not? So what degree of impropriety generates mamzer? That's the machlekes. That's the point of discussion between these two shittas. Tanna Kama savar afilu mamzer machoisi. Now we have a mamzer. Tanna Kama says that even a child born from interacting with a sister, which is a kares penalty, also makes a mamzer. And that's the point of Tanna Kama when he says kol asurim lo v'zeh, any sort of isra arayis, whether it's an erva that generates misas bezdin or kares, that child is a mamzer. Rabbi Yehuda Savar, he disagrees. Meishas ish have a mamzer, child born from a married woman who committed znus. That child, since he was generated from a misas bezdin scenario, is a mamzer, have a mamzer. Ma'achos will have a mamzer, but from his sister not, because it's only kares. And therefore, this child, being that he's not really a mamzer, cannot marry another mamzer. So bottom line, Tanna Kama says, all the Isurei Erva generate mamzerim, and therefore this child is a perfect mamzer, so to speak, who can marry other mamzerim. But with the Iser, he says, no. Only from a misas bezdin is that child a mamzer, but otherwise not, and therefore he cannot marry another mamzer. He's regularly Yisrael. Michael Marshall, what's the point of mentioning this discussion again? Once we have discussed it back in Mesechus Yevamos, Tanina, we have a Mishnah, Ezo mamzer, what constitutes a mamzer? Koshu b'lo yoveh. Any child born from a forbidden interaction, even a lav. Divei Rabbi Akiva, Shimon ha-temni aimer, kol shechayav olav kares b'ishamayim. Child born from a kares scenario. So from a kares b'dei shemayim scenario. V'aloch kedvarav, and the Mishnah passes like him. Rabbi Shoimer, kol shechayav olav misas bezdin. A mamzer is only if the avera involved misas bezdin, but not kares. So basically, why do we have to repeat the machlekes once and again? Just say that Rabbi Yehuda, goes with Shitas Rabbi Yeshua, that you need misas bezdin to generate mamzer. Why repeat the same discussion over there and over here? Elom Rava. Finally says Rava, I'll give you the pshat of the Mishnah. Ger amoini umay avi ikibenayu. So you have a ger who came from Amoin, from Moav. That is the sole point of contention between Tanna Kama and Rabbi Yehuda. Can he marry a mamzeres or not? V'achi kama. Let's read the Tanna Kama. Kol asurim lo v'kal. Apostle cannot enter the call. Mind you, for instance. What haven't we yet discussed in the first Mishnah? What's another example of Asr Kol? Ger Amoni Meyavi. Something which we haven't yet discussed in the Perek. Mutar Novazeh Bezeh. So all agree, a Ger Amoni and Meyavi cannot join the Kohol. And that explains why he can go ahead and marry anybody. Whoever he wants. Asks the Gemara, Ihachi. So if that's the topic of the Mishnah, Ger Amoni Meyavi, so why is Rabbi Yehuda disagreeing? Why shouldn't he marry a mamzer? What's wrong? Amai Rabbi Yehuda Oiser. This ger is not called kohol. He's not allowed to enter the kohol. So he's not kohol. He's Yisrael, but he's not kohol. Not part of the community, so he can marry anybody. Yochi Amai Rabbi Yehuda Oiser. The Mishnah means like this. Ava Bish Rabbi Yehuda Oiser ger mamzeres. No, it's the opposite. Even though Rabbi Yehuda says a ger may not marry mamzeres because an ordinary ger is called kohol and cannot marry a mamzeres, who may not interact with kol. Hani mila ger deroy love kol. Oh, that's only by an ordinary standard ger. Who's allowed to marry into the kol. So therefore, he should not marry a mamzeres. Aval ger amoni miavi the ain ruin love kol. As opposed to a ger from Amon and Moav, that's not called kal Hashem. In fact, they may not marry kal Hashem. Therefore, there's no restrictions, no limitations. Even Rabbi Yehuda would agree this type of ger is totally different. Can marry a mamzeres. Okay, so that's the final pshat in the Mishnah. Okay, so to summarize, we have the halacha of Ne'monos al Bachor, the Chaya, the Av of the Imoy. We have Abba Shol who says a child whose mother is known to us but not the father, we just simply ask the mother and she's believed. Even in the case of Roy V'Pesulim, and the Chiddush is that the mother is Ne'mon. We had a Mishnah with several attempts at explaining the Mishnah. The final pshat is Tanakama discusses a ger from Amon and Moav. They're Asr Love Bekol, and therefore they have a green light to marry a Mamzerim, a senior Shtuki, anybody they wish. And even Rabbi Yehuda agrees, because this is a different type of ger who's not part of the call, even according to Rabbi Yehuda, and therefore they have no limitations, no restrictions. All the best to you on Tzlacha Rabbah. Now, of course, by the way, when we speak on no restrictions, we mean in the context of psulim. They can marry a relative, of course, because he's a Yisrael and he has all the mitzvahs. And all the best to you on Tzlacha Rabbah.